Obviously, good to get a big home win Saturday night. Great crowd, great atmosphere in the stadium. Very pleased with the way our team played. Good to get to 2-1 on the season, and good to win that one the way we did. It's good to go into conference play with those kind of wins back to back. Obviously, pretty challenging opponent coming in here this week. Navy coming off a bye. They're always a challenge, and expecting nothing different. This week. That game up there in Annapolis last year, could have really went either way, and they got a lot of guys back off that squad, and so it's we got a work cut out for us this week. But I could tell the kids already Sunday evening were really had turned their focus to this game, and our older players, they understand. Number one, it's conference opener, but number two, they all understand just what the Navy football program is. Coach Niemot's done a phenomenal job there for a long time. He's been there for 25 years. I think the last 15 as the head coach, and so they've just done a great job year in and year out. And so we know that we're going to be challenged Saturday night, and we're going to play our best game of the year to have a shot at getting a win. So you're looking forward to having another home game. Should be great weather. Finally getting some fall temperatures in here this weekend. And looking forward to a full house again, which should make it for a pretty rowdy environment. So should be a great matchup, and looking forward to it. Questions?
You mentioned after the Campbell game, it's almost like a clock ticking type of deal to get ready for such a unique offense. Do you feel like y'all, from a coaching perspective and preparation perspective, done a good job at least catching up thus far?
Well, the thing is, you knew ahead of time. I mean, you have a regular work week, and it was going to be a challenge. So, we spent time this summer with our game plan. We literally practiced against Navy's offense every practice during preseason camp, every day. And then, we've been working it on Sunday nights, just trying to make sure our guys stayed, dialed into the game plan. So it's not like we're starting cold, which did help. Sunday we were able to, have a full kind of, at least go through the game plan against their offense. I think their defense presents its own challenges. But we had a pretty good practice Sunday night. A lot of guys around the facility on their own yesterday watching film. So we feel like we're at least prepared for practice today. Now, the challenge is just how do you replicate, what they do. And it's, we can have guys go out there and line up and, run through their plays, but, it's, with them, it's not as much what they do as how they do it. And I just think they do a great job with execution. Their line play is it's so hard to replicate. And so, that's going to be the challenge this week, is getting our scout teams to give us as good a look as possible and get them to play as fast as possible, which is not going to be anywhere near, how fast Navy runs their offense.
The guys have said that Coach Roy Tesh is very important this week, that he gives you guys a great look. How does he impact this week as far as like his knowledge of that offense and how it runs?
Well, I mean, he was with us at Lenore-Ryan when we ran it. He was with us at the Citadel when we ran it. He actually coached on offense for a year at Lenore-Ryan. So one, he understands the offense, but two, just all that time coaching defensive line. I mean, when you run it, that's what you go against during spring practice. That's what you go against during preseason camp. We had multiple teams in both leagues that ran a similar offense, so he's got a lot of experience against it. The thing is, he has no eligibility left. None of the coaches do. So it's how good of a job can he do preparing his players to face that offense. That's the challenge. But Roy, I don't care what job you give him, he's going to do a phenomenal job in preparation and make sure his guys are ready to play. And so I expect those guys to be prepared for Saturday night.
Coach, you bring back a lot of starters from the last 2, 3, 4 years, so Navy's seen these guys a lot of times. Does that bring any added pressure this week as opposed to the previous 3 teams you played and not seeing a lot of those guys?
Pressure for us? Well, I mean, I think our guys our guys know what to expect. I mean, I don't know about pressure as much as I don't worry. Like I said, I don't worry as much about them not understanding what we're up against. I think that's is probably a positive more than any kind of a pressure thing. Just that our guys, I don't have to worry about them, not being ready to play. They know that we're going to have to play at a higher level this weekend to have a shot. And so just all those guys having those experiences. I mean, some of these guys were there on the field in Annapolis in 19, which is one of the most embarrassing losses in my coaching career. And then 20, we had the close loss here at home. We finally did actually get a win in the series up there last year. So these guys have been in this game. They understand what we're against, what we're up against. And so I feel like that's an asset to our team.
Goes back to that Navy offense. What are some of the X's and O's as far as the defensive line? Is it gap integrity? Does one guy have a pitch man, one guy have a fullback? Responsibilities that way? What are some of the things you look at?
Well, I think the most important thing is being able to try to match their physicality. Extremely physical offensive line, and then it comes back to just doing your job. And no matter what we have called, everybody has a responsibility, and that's probably the two most important things for that group up front this week is matching the physicality of the Navy offense and then doing their job, play after play. Because all it takes is one misfit, one guy, not being responsible for his, responsibility on a certain play, and that's when you see the huge plays. And that's kind of been their MO for years, is they'll 3-yard you, 4-yard you, 3-yard you, 4-yard you, and then they'll 70-yard you. And that's, we've seen it, time after time over the years, both sides. So that's the real challenge is being able to just sit there and down in and down out, be that disciplined and that physical.
Through the first few weeks, it looks like you guys are pretty physical on the back end, guys like Juwan Powell. Does that kind of put you in a good position, just having those guys, asking them to do run fits and stuff like that?
Well, I think that's kind of what we hang our hat on as being a physical football team, and but that's what Navy hangs their hat on too. And so it's you got two good football teams that are facing off, and both of them are it's kind of a clash, two similar styles. And I know we're in the spread and we do things differently defensively and stuff, but I mean, Ken very much believes in a lot of the same things I believe in as far as how you win consistently. And I think that what that's going to create is just a highly competitive football game. But we'll have to be at our best tackling and taking on blocks and just we're just going to have to be at our best Saturday night.
How do you recalibrate that defense that's built on attacking to maybe not bend their ears back and play assignment football? How do you keep like they're calling the dogs, I guess is what I'm asking.
No, I think they've got to pin their ears back and play assignment football. I think we've got to attack. If we don't attack Saturday night, we're going to get our face kicked in. I mean, that's what's going to happen. So we better attack, and we better pin our ears back, and we better go at them with everything we got.
Talking about Juwan Powell earlier, he missed that tackle early in the game, but he seemed to respond from that and play really well the rest of the game. Is that kind of that next play, next series mentality?
Yeah, and Juwan is very confident, and that's that's always the balance as a player. It's especially the balance at certain positions. I think corner is one of those positions. You can play 80 plays at corner and have 2 bad plays, and everybody in the stadium knows it. It's very similar to playing quarterback. So yeah, I mean, he's got a short memory. He's got a lot of confidence in himself, and so yeah, he had the wrong leverage and didn't wrap up. He missed a tackle. So, but he didn't let that affect him. He came back and played a very good game the rest of the game, and I'm positive he has learned from that and will be better for it. So.
Switching gears a little bit, after the game, Isaiah was talking about run blocking and how it's almost as important as just catching passes. So what was that like, just fostering that mentality across that group like this year?
Well, I think that our blocking on the perimeter has been much improved this year. Part of that is just we have a couple of bigger guys on the perimeter, but two, I think I think some of the new guys, I think some of the new staff, I think some of the guys that are returning being a year older. I think there's just been a higher standard of accountability as far as blocking on the perimeter, blocking for each other. And you've seen the benefits of that. You've seen, the screen game's been improved. We had one screen hit for a loss the other night, but really other than that one, we've been pretty effective in the screen game. Anytime you see a running back have a long run, I promise you there's downfield blocking involved in that. And so I think those guys take pride in being, we talk about being a better player without the ball in your hands than you are with the ball in your hands. And I think, when you get guys that are doing that, that's when really they turn that next corner into being a complete player.
Coach, dated back to spring ball, you talked about J.D. Lampley. He'll probably play a lot for you guys. He has. How have you seen him kind of grow through 3 games as a freshman?
Well, I think it's pretty impressive he's playing at the level he is as a true freshman. You just don't see that very much, especially on the lines, just because the speed and physicality is so much greater at this level than it is the high school level. But I think, J.D. being with us through the spring helps. I think, he's got some God-given ability. I mean, he's a big kid. He's a strong kid. He has, very good athleticism. He runs really well. He's smart. And he's got just something to him. I mean, he's got an edge to him. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He plays with some toughness. Got a good motor. I just think all those things together, allow him to be competitive very, very young. And he's going to make his mistakes, but he's going to make a lot more positive plays than he is negative.
I know you spoke last year about the importance of the Military Appreciation Day, and this year it's against Navy, so it kind of even brings it up another,
Right.
Just the importance of that, honoring them during.
Well, I mean, the reality is none of us would be here living the lives we lived if it weren't for our military protecting us and defending our country. And I think I got even more of a special appreciation for it after my time at the Citadel. I have very close friends who are in various branches of the military, and we're going to have a lieutenant colonel come and be our motivational speaker Friday night as part of this week. And so I think it's something that's very important to us. We talk about it a lot, not just this week. I mean, we talk about it a lot with the team throughout the year. We talked about it on 9/11 this year. So I think it's just something we all need to understand, slow down every once in a while and just, say thank you, because we're allowed to live this life in this country because of the sacrifices of the men and women that serve in our military.
Coach, I feel like I've asked you this in previous Navy games, but they're coming off a bye, as they seem to do when they play you guys. Just, do you kind of have to expect some wrinkles knowing that? Is that an extra challenge?
Well, you've been able to ask me that question 3 of the last 4 years. So, but what I think is, and you look at some of the things that they had 2 tough games to start the year. Okay, and they made some mistakes in those games that allowed them to, not be as successful as they want to be. And like I said before, Coach Niemot has done a phenomenal job there. He is demanding. He has high expectations for how his teams play. So what I think is you're going to see a different Navy walk in here than what was on the field against Memphis. I mean, I can promise you. I mean, they are going to come in here like a well-oiled machine. That's just. He and his coaches, they do a phenomenal job. So I think that's what you're going to see. Will they have some wrinkles for us? Yeah. I promise you they've had some wrinkles for us that they probably worked on last summer. And I just think that they're going to come in here playing at a very high level, all 3 phases. I don't think just offense. I mean, Coach Newberry does a great job defensively there. I think they do a great job on special teams. They're very aggressive in both of those phases as well. So I just think you're going to see a very sharp football team come in here, and I think it's going to be a great matchup. All right. Thanks a lot.
When you think Navy football, you think that option as a linebacker, how does that play into your, thought process?
Well, really, as a linebacker, our main job is stopping the run, and that's what they do 90% of the time is run the football, running down our throats. So I just have to be good with my eyes and trust my keys and trust the system that Coach Blake Harrell has in place. And like I said, I just got to stop that run and get them to third. It's kind of a different type of strategy with the triple option, but, our main thing is stopping the run and getting off the field.
Do you worry about those cut blocks?
The cut block rule has changed a little bit this year. I don't really try to worry about it too much because if you worry about it, you'll play slower, So, but there's some differences in how they do it and kind of the guidelines to cutting this year. But really, just got to play fast. And if you get cut, just get up, get back up, and got to chase the ball.
Last year, Navy hit on a couple of pass plays, which was surprising.
Yeah.
Do you have that fear that you're going to say, "Oh, there he goes"?
Well, yeah, that's not really my responsibility. That's more for the back end and defensive backs to really trust their eyes and make sure that they're stopping the pass. But yeah, they run the ball so many times, and then when the pass does happen, it might catch you off guard a little bit. But like I said, that's not really my focus. That's more on people behind me. But we definitely have a plan to stop it.
It's assignment football, and that's kind of something different.
Yeah, well, you always have assignment football, no matter what type of offense you're playing. But this week in particular, you have to really be focused on your assignment, reading your keys, and your fundamentals, and your technique has to be precise every play.
Okay. What do you think? What do you like about playing Navy?
Tackles. Really, it's kind of a stat game to really get your tackles up and kind of show everybody around that how physical of a defense you can be because of how historically physical their offense is. Their offense is very ground and pound, run at your nose, not really going sideways to sideways, but downhill. So as a defense, if you're able to stop that, you can really show how physical you are as a defense and especially as a linebacker.
Say, when you think about Navy football, what do you think about?
I think a hard-nosed, disciplined, gritty, in-your-face football team.
We were just talking with Miles. I mean, he was kind of explaining the responsibilities for the linebackers, and it's a little different than the defensive backs, a little different than the linemen. But every game you have to be defensive. You have to have your own assignments. But in this game, you really have to know your assignment.
Yeah, this game, bottom line, it comes down to discipline. Which team's more disciplined, which team's going to capitalize off the other team's mistakes, and, experience plays a big role in that. We had older players, they got older players, so it should be a fun ball game to watch.
What have you taken away from playing Navy in the past?
Just how they play. You got to come ready to play every snap. They're going to be in your face. They're going to try to get you, and the moment you slip, boom, it's a big play. That's just how their offense is built.
A lot of teams talk, junk on the field and that kind of thing, but Navy, you really don't get a whole lot of that. You know that these guys are in a different kind of, brand of what they're going to do in the future.
Yeah, no, they do talk a little junk.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do. They be going at it, but, I try not to do it, but then again, I like having a little bit of fun too, so I'll go back and forth on it a little bit, but it's just all fun. It's football, Can't take it out the game.
So you blew up one of the myths, I guess it is, that they will talk a little junk, but and everybody talks a little bit. But when you think about the assignments and everything that goes into that, if you think too much about the assignments, then all of a sudden you're playing a little slower, aren't you?
Yeah, you just got to trust your brothers to do your job and just play fast. Coach Harrell, Coach Houston, that's what they want us to do. It works. Trusting our brothers, we see the production we can do when we just fly around and have fun, and we take the same mentality in this week. Nothing changes.
And with Blake's third year here as defensive coordinator, you're pretty comfortable in this defense.
Yes, sir. 3 years, finally getting bits and pieces that I didn't pick up on before. It's just growth as a player. You see it as you progress in your college career.
Great job, man.
Great job, man.
Thank you.